I'm Anikinipom, and today I would like to discuss with you, the YouTube viewers and the YouTube community, an interview I saw with Gail Dines, the author of Pornland, and I would like to give my analysis of the situation and go through step by step what she was talking about in her interview. So here we go.
But today what you're seeing is, I think, more and more working class women who are looking at, minimum wage jobs for the rest of their life, turn on E! Entertainment, turn on Oprah Winfrey, and they get to see this Jenna Jameson's house, her beautiful clothes, her art collection, and this acts as a way to bring in young women who don't understand what's going to happen to them in pornography, who might consent but they don't know what they're consenting to, and they come into the industry and they get spat out within a few months, and then there's always more coming in. So really what's happening is you're seeing a change in the kind of women who are going into the industry, and more, I think, are going in because they think they can become the next Jenna Jameson.
I know from experience, no matter what job you enter yourself into, you don't know exactly what you're going to do until you actually do it. The expectations are sometimes higher than they are for the job you're actually applying for. And you don't know about the demands that your job is going to hold against you and so on. And of course the porn industry is no exception. This is the old argument of, oh, well, these women, these poor women don't know what they're going into. And the reason why I think this is a dead argument is because nobody knows what they're really getting into when young men sign up for the military. And they know for the first time, once they get on the job and they know that they're infantrymen, that they're actually going to go in and kill people. Like, that's what they're going to do. I mean, it doesn't matter what job it is. You know, all appearances are to the contrary, usually, in my experience, when you start something new. You have high expectations for what your first sexual experience is going to be like. Your job is going to be like. Anything new, for that matter, and that's my point. Now, I think Gail Dines does have one point that I would like to address. She says a lot of women might look up to her and say, I want to be a millionaire, and I'm going to do it by means of porn. Of course, women have to realize that porn is highly saturated with many other females that are competing for the same decision, and you're not going to get it just by being a worker. Jenna Jameson became very famous by being a worker, but eventually she owned her own company, and that's how she made her millions. She didn't make it through becoming an actress. She made vivid millions of dollars, but until she actually made a name for herself, made her own action figures, look this up, this is true, until she made her own action figures, until she owned her own company in 2000, until all those things happened, Oprah Winfrey could not have interviewed her and showed her her private art collection, or her private car collection, or her privates even. No, I'm just joking about that. But my point is, any of the things that she acquired was not necessarily through the vivid entertainment industry. No, it was because she became an entrepreneur. And if most women think that just by becoming a worker for Vivid that they're going to get high payments, you could, by working very hard and maybe make $100,000 a year, which is the ultimate you can achieve unless you become a private business owner. So if women have these expectations, it's not upon the porn industry to advertise that, these risks are involved. No. All they're there to do is to actually film the porn, and it's to show it to the public. They don't have any responsibility beyond that.
Internet sites, and what they found was hardcore pornography. So I don't think parents are equipped. And you know what's really important here? Parents are not the only people who bring up a child. A culture brings up a child, and our culture is now toxic. And thanks to the pornographers, what parents have to do is try and keep the culture outside of the house. But this is counterintuitive to parenting, and I think that the culture is making it harder to be a parent, and I don't blame parents for this. I think they're overwhelmed by it.
In my experience, these same parents will gladly take their 11-year-old children to go see rated R movies. When I was not quite 17, my father and I went to go see the most violent movie of its time. It was known as Saving Private Ryan. Over my shoulder, I looked over and saw a lady, and she had her 8-year-old daughter, and she was having a confrontation with the ticket sales clerk. And the ticket sales clerk was objecting to the mother and saying, look, this film is very violent, and I want to make sure you know that. And the mother says, no, that's okay. She's seen way more violent stuff and she knows it's Hollywood. And that is being shown to an 8-year-old girl. If you truly believe that parents have a lot on their plate now, think about 40,000 BC, when our parents, ancestral parents, had to fight off lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! In order to make sure that their children survived. In order to make sure that they got fed. And we're complaining about pornography? Really? Let's fast forward a little bit into, let's say, 1500s England. Or 1500s Europe, I should say. 1500s Europe, parents had to worry about other nations conquering their nation. Actual country lines were being drawn and redrawn at a very fast rate at that time. That's what parents then had to deal with. Let's fast forward a little bit until 19th century Japan. In 19th century Japan, your child could have his arm lopped off by a samurai by looking at him wrong or not bowing. You think parents have something to worry about now? Give me a break.
We're no longer talking about pictures from Playboy of a naked woman smiling in a cornfield. What we're talking about are really brutal, body-punishing images that are designed to degrade and debase women. And what's happening thanks to the internet...
Up till now, I've been watching as many videos as I could, and many of the arguments that Gail Dines provides in her content and her arguments for being against pornography. Now, in every single argument I've seen, it's always men against women. Every single one I've seen. She doesn't care about homosexual conduct. She doesn't care about guys doing it to other guys. She doesn't care about girls doing it to other girls. She's only concerned when a guy is having sex with a girl. What this means to me, ladies and gentlemen, is that she's very one-sided.
Well, remember, in the United States of America, there's a long and ugly history of racism against African Americans. And when I was looking at these images, and what's interesting is the Adult Video News says 1 in 4 movies released to the market is what they call interracial, which is a black man and a white woman. And I got thinking, why in the United States of America do white men, which is who are the audience, want to see this? And then it got me thinking about the debasement. And if indeed pornography is about the debasement of women, what better way to debase a white woman in the eyes of white men than to have her penetrated over and over again by that body which is the carrier of all that is demonized sexually, i.e. the black male.
Now, I think this is a cheap shot by Gail Dines to actually explain that because of racism in the country that we might actually want to have sex with people not of our own race. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm saying I don't think a majority of them are. I don't think race is an issue. Besides that, I know she's not a psychologist, and I have read some psychological studies that actually show that human beings are naturally attracted to people who are deemed exotic. We are naturally attracted to other races, so this whole racist argument, yeah, I understand that America has a long history of racism, but I think the racist argument, I think, is a little bit weak in my eyes.
Now also, what you're seeing increasingly as younger and younger boys are getting into this, it's getting encoded into their sexual DNA, and they're looking for more and more pornography.
This is actually by far the weakest argument I heard on the entire program that I've seen, and that is that we should change the industry, the porn industry, the adult entertainment industry's tastes, because children might be watching it. Think of the children. Of course, that's like saying we should change the recipe of a pina colada because children might actually like the taste of a pina colada. I think the fact that we know that the adult entertainment industry is for adults, by mature people, and hopefully are viewed by mature people. I'm not saying that the majority of boys by the age of 12 don't view pornography, but to say that we should change the adult industry's sensibilities because children might be watching is the most stupid argument I could ever hear from that side of the house. Well, with that said, I hope you enjoyed my analysis, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.